All right, guys, you ready to start?
Yeah.
Cool. So, it's not focusing. Try to figure that out. So, thanks everyone who came out today to West Palm Beach. Everyone at home, what's up? you figure that out? Okay. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here, and everyone at home, thanks for watching. This is a live event. For those of you who don't know, we're here in West Palm Beach. Just going to give like a little demonstration today and give you guys a chance to get to know each other and hang out a bunch. We're going to be talking about a bunch of things, and anyone who's watching at home, anything we're talking about will be linked up in the description if you want to check that out. So this is kind of the schedule of events. First, I just want to take a chance to thank our sponsor. Then we'll get some chances to get to know each other a bunch. And we'll have a bunch of prizes, get to know each other some more, and some more prizes. So lots of prizes today. First, our sponsor here is Payability. And I wanted to give them a shout out because, renting venues like this, all the food is not cheap, and they're paying for all of it. So really huge thank you to Payability. You'll be hearing more about them later on, but I just want to give them a shout out right now. And I wanted to introduce these QR codes to you guys if you're not familiar with them. If you open up your app on your phone, your camera app, and aim it at it, you'll see a little pop-up that can bring you to their website. So you'll see a few of these throughout the demonstration. If you're wondering what those are, you can try that out. Anyone at home, the links will be underneath the video for that. So the first thing, I want to give everyone a chance to get to know each other a little bit. I know everyone here has already been talking with each other, which is awesome. Because the first time I started dropshipping, trying to build an online business, and maybe some of you have experienced this as well, it can feel very almost lonely and like isolating. Like no one else in your sphere that you know is probably doing something like this, and it's kind of weird when you talk about it. I know for myself, the first 7 or 8 months, I didn't tell my family at all what I was doing, and because and when I told them, like, you're doing what? And they just don't understand it. So these events were the thing that really helped push me forward. The first one I went to as a participant, I just remember feeling really lit up by it, really inspired and motivated. I was meeting other dropshippers who are doing really well, and we have several of them in the room right now. And there were other dropshippers who were just starting out like I was, and that was hugely motivating. I actually remember leaving that event and getting into the elevator, and I made a video of myself just saying, like, don't forget how you're feeling right now. Like, you're fired up, and just use this as motivation. I would watch that video every week because, connecting with people online, watching videos on YouTube, like, sorry everyone at home, it's great that you guys are watching, but there's nothing like connecting in person, like forming masterminds, connecting with people, getting each other's phone numbers, connecting on Facebook, and having that accountability because you've met the person in person really makes a big difference, and I've seen it happen. So I've held 2 of these events in the past, and the people that have come, they have masterminds that are still going strong today. And overall, they're doing better, I guess you could say, like statistically speaking, than people who didn't do that. Because it is really inspiring and motivating. You hold each other accountable. So more than anything, that's what I hope you guys get out of this. I'm going to be presenting something, but I think meeting each other is so much more valuable. So I know you guys gotten a chance to mingle a little bit, but it would be cool if you just take a couple minutes and turn to someone maybe that you haven't met yet and just say hi, ask each other where each other's from and something interesting about each other, and then why you're here, and we'll reconvene in like 2 minutes and we'll see who's here. Okay? All right, so guys, let's see who's here in the live chat. Hey, what's up here? Ty Cheats and Lazy Abram. Thanks for being here, man. Wish you could be here in person. John, don't worry, we started. Hello from Morocco. What's up, guys? Thanks for being here. I'm glad we were able to do this live for you guys. Marcelino's here in spirit. The awkward moment. Oh man, you have to make it out to the next one. Hey, what's up, Bobby? Thanks for being here. There's Chad in the background. It's like school all over again. Yeah. We'll turn to the other monitor. We've got a bunch of people here today. We got like 25 people who are here. Who else do we have here? We have Salma from Kenya. Thanks to Kenya. Wow, thanks for being here. We have like 25 people here. Probably hear them in the background. Cool. Hey, Martin, thanks for being here. Wish you could be here from India. Houston in the house, freezing in New York. That's what I heard. It's plenty warm here. Bobby is working. Maybe Vegas will be next, for sure. Cool. Well, thanks everyone who's here live, watching from home. Really appreciate you guys being here. Silicon Valley, that's awesome. Cool. They're outnumbered the 66 watching live. 72 now, but yeah. Cool. All right, everyone.
I just wanted to do a quick introduction. I've watched some of your videos. My name is Wayne. Yeah, so it's really pleasure to meet you. I haven't signed up for the Titans course yet, and I almost did last time we had a sale, and you're like, do it, because y'all gonna text me like the next day and say that you missed the deadline. And then when I heard you were having this, I said, I just want to come meet you, interact with people, and then see where it goes from there. So, I mean, I've seen you build it, and it's just amazing flexibility to be able to move down here. I said, well, that's proof that he can do it from anywhere. So that's what I'm going to get out of it.
Should I grab some for you back there?
Oh yeah, I'm going to grab something.
All right, everybody. Cool.
Okay.
So everyone meet someone cool?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right, so the more formal part here is I want to talk about what I'm calling seasonal dropshipping and what that is and how it differs from regular dropshipping, why it's a pretty powerful thing, what makes it tricky, and how to take advantage of it. And this is kind of the perfect time to talk about this because it is the beginning-ish of November, and it's really the best time to talk about seasonal items and how to drop ship from them. So can anyone define for me what I might mean by seasonal items? Like a definition?
Halloween.
Yeah, it's a good example. Anyone have like a definition? Yeah.
Like Christmas, holidays.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's basically items that only sell during certain times of the year, right? So some examples, you guys already shouted them out. Christmas, Halloween. Also, think about the seasons themselves. Sledding, yeah, ski equipment. These are all different seasonal items. Barbecues during the summer. Now, these differ obviously from items that would sell all year long, which I would call evergreen items. Evergreen like evergreen tree because it's always green all year long. So evergreen items, they're going to sell all year. They're not really going to see a spike in sales. Very consistent sales with those. The difference between that and seasonal is seasonal, you're probably only going to sell them one time during the year, and then not at all. But during that time of the year, it's a lot. So this is nothing. What happened? Yeah, it looks like it's off, right? All right, let's give it a second. So, it's back off again. weird. No, it's one remote for all of them. So, why does it keep turning off? You think so? Try that one. What? It just keeps turning off. Is there another remote somewhere that someone's sitting on? I'm not pressing it too many times. Yeah. That's really weird. See anything weird back there? Sorry. It's not the most important thing.
Hi.
Is that the power button? Oh, it's not.
Did something happen?
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get it off again. Does it look like it's off again?
It just turned off, yeah.
That's weird.
I think with the red lights, it's off.
Yeah, but why does it keep turning off? Oh, there we go. All right, I got it. It's good. It's good. Okay. All right. So we were talking about.
Everybody lean to the right.
Let's try it again. There we go. Let's try again. We were here. And doing this. All right. We got it. So we were talking about why seasonal items are so powerful. So this is how many people on Google search for the word Christmas tree during 2018. And you can see during most of the year, most people don't care about Christmas trees except in December. And actually this starts in late October when interest starts. So there's a lot of people searching for Christmas trees during this time period. And if they're searching for it, they're definitely buying them as well. So this is why they're so powerful. Now, not every item can be a seasonal item, obviously. So we look at certain criteria. So the first thing we're looking for is like a major event that has a lot of people that buy items associated with that event, and you need people with disposable income for that event. So what's like a major, what's an event or holiday that's not a major one? Okay, anyone? Easter? Yeah, I said it's like a medium-sized one.
It's not really
Yeah,
products.
yeah.
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day, actually, I would say Valentine's Day is a pretty good holiday. Which
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah. I said your birthday. Sorry. It's like it's an event, but nobody else really cares. I'm sorry to say, nobody cares. But Christmas is a major event, right? What's an event, or what's a major event that lots of people don't buy items for? Like, what's a holiday that nobody buys anything for?
Veterans Day.
What? Veterans Day. Great. Yeah. Or I said Martin Luther King Day, right? These are major important holidays, but people don't buy things for them. Or if they do, it's not a lot. But again, Christmas is one that people buy stuff for. And then obviously college students don't have money. Baby boomers usually do have money. Now, don't like worry too much about this. Really what we're looking for is big holidays that people spend money on. So I kind of made this timeline. Really, like, it was kind of hard to put this together because really it's all at the end of the year. It's all back heavy here. We're talking about Halloween, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like, that's what you're looking at. Hanukkah, all that at the end of the year. There are some things at the beginning of the year. It could be kind of like a stretch to call them major retail holidays. Things like Valentine's Day is definitely one you don't want to forget about. You can make some money off of that. Teddy bears, chocolates, things like that. Easter, yeah, not huge. Some candy. 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, like some stuff. Really, it's all towards the end of the year. But it's not just holidays. We mentioned this before. We're also looking at the seasons themselves. And people kind of forget about this, but seasons are really important. I showed you before, like the sleds, skiing equipment, barbecues, patio equipment during the summer. Like these are things you don't want to forget about as well. But the problem with seasonal items, what makes them tricky is knowing what to sell and when. Because with regular product research, and the regular product research is what I teach in my course, in my free courses that I've held. It's a system where we go on eBay and Amazon, we see what's been selling for the past month or two, and we see if those items are selling well, we should sell the same ones. And for evergreen items, that works perfectly because you're seeing what people are already buying. You're not wasting time listing items unless you know people are already interested in buying those items. So that's how most product research works. But there's a problem with that with these seasonal items. Does anyone anyone see the hole there, the problem with that? Anyone? Bueller?
You gotta do some of the first ones on the scene to sell.
Exactly, yeah. If we go back to that chart, if you remember that chart where the spike was, maybe I have it here, yeah. So if you're here and you're discovering that all these people are selling Christmas trees and you start selling them, it's too late. It's too late then. You want to start selling here. You want to start listing up for sale Christmas trees here so that when interest starts gaining for it, you're the thing people see and you're the thing people start to buy. So you got to be ahead of the curve here and you got to know what's coming up next and what items are associated with those events. And this isn't as precise as the other method because with the other method, again, you already know the exact items that are selling well. It's going to be a little bit different here, but it's so powerful because of this spike that it's still worth doing. So the first thing you remember is that these things are cyclical. The same holidays, the same time every year. Same season, same time every year. So just look back on the last year, what happened, look forward. It's pretty easy to see what's coming up next. And just be aware of that. Put that on your radar and start to think about that. At the end of December, going into January, in a little over a month, we have Valentine's Day coming up. That's perfect time to start listing Valentine's Day items. You know that on Black Friday, people start to buy Christmas gifts. So you want to make sure that you have all your items in your store, all your gift kind of items, ready to go on Black Friday. So it's all cyclical, remember that. But the other thing you can do, which is really cool, is you can actually go to your supplier's website and see what's coming up next. I don't know if this is going to work on my phone, but let's give it a shot. So if you go to, for example, Home Depot, always at the top, you're going to see two things. You're going to see one like evergreen items that are always selling all year long. But you're also going to see if whatever the next holiday is, you're going to see that at the top too. So right now, there's Christmas stuff right here. And if you scroll down, there's plenty of Christmas stuff. And it's not even the middle of November yet. So they know what's coming up next, and they're putting it out there. But when I went on Home Depot in the middle of October, what I saw was at the top, I saw some appliances, because that's what Home Depot sells a lot of, and they showed Halloween stuff, because Halloween was only 2 weeks away. But at that point, it was too late for Halloween. I couldn't have started then, and I did start before then, luckily. But when I went on the middle of October and I scrolled down, I saw Christmas stuff already in the middle of October. And that told me that that's what's coming up next, and it's coming up faster than you think. Everything happens sooner than you think when it comes to retail, because people spend a lot more money fast. Like a lot of people procrastinate when they buy, but a lot of people don't, and you want to grab both people. So this is really helpful to do, is go on your supplier's website. And it's the same thing with Walmart or any other website you use. And the other cool thing is that you can then come in here, and usually they put right at the top what items they know people are looking for. So people are looking for Christmas trees and yard decorations and indoor holiday decor. And if we click on one of them, it will tell you what the best sellers are. So you don't even have to guess so much with this. Let's go to inflatables. That's the first one. And look, like these are things people are buying. Star Wars, reindeer, Santa with reindeer. You gotta be careful with Star Wars. It's like probably Vero. But yeah, all this sort of things, and it tells you what's doing well. So there's not any guesswork involved there. So that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do is go onto Google Trends. That's where I got this from. Just go to trends.google.com, plug in any term like Valentine's Day, Christmas trees, whatever, and it will show you when people start searching for that. So for this one, for Christmas trees, again, it's like October. So that's when you want to start listing those items, in October. I know it sounds like crazy how soon that is, but that's when people start searching for it. And I kind of put together this cheat sheet. I'm going to email this to everyone, this whole presentation to everyone afterward. So this is not by no means comprehensive, but it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of different holidays, when to start listing, what to start listing. The one I want to point out is lawn decorations, inflatables, which I just showed you guys. Like for every holiday, those, I don't know why people love buying inflatables so much, but they do. And those ones are huge right there. There's also what I call one-time events. These are kind of bonus things. These don't happen every year, or if they happen sporadically. So some examples I have are like, do you remember this? The Area 51 raid that happened? People were selling t-shirts related to this. People were selling like mugs, different alien stuff, different things like that. This was the interest in Area 51 last year, or this year. Right when they announced it and when the raid was supposed to happen. So, I mean, just think about these things. What's like in pop culture? What's coming up? So, like the eclipse happened, when was that? Like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago? And people made a lot of money selling those eclipse glasses. So I searched for when's the next eclipse in the United States. And it's April 8th, 2024. So I'm putting on my calendar for January 2024 to start selling some solar glasses. Movies are a big one too. So you got to be careful with this, again, because of Vero, different brands. But yeah, like Star Wars is coming out this year, different movies, the Olympics. Let me show you these. So this is actually one of the first items I ever drop shipped, ever. I think it was actually the third item I ever sold. And I sold a lot of these, actually. So here they are. They're like these. Yeah, Wolverine claws. And these sold, like, guess when these sold? Besides Halloween. When all the movies came out. Every time a Wolverine movie came out, I would sell like a ton of these. And this was actually one of my most popular items for a while. And so I never actually bought them myself, and recently I'm like, I gotta see what these things are. So I bought them. And yeah, I mean, movie stuff, I mean, these aren't really branded. It's not like these are sold by, what is it? Which one is X-Men? Marvel, thank you. That's what I thought. I didn't want to get it wrong because I would get in a lot of trouble if I got it wrong. So yeah. So things like that, just think about things like that. The Olympics is coming up. I don't know if you could drop ship stuff related to Olympics, but think about it. You never know. Okay, so now that we've discussed that, one of the problems with seasonal items is cash flow. So this is especially true during quarter four. You sell a bunch of items. It's more true for Amazon because Amazon always holds your money. I don't know if you're aware of that. You sell something on Amazon, they hold your money for 2 weeks before they release it, which is a problem because you need that money to fulfill your order for some of us. So cash flow is definitely an issue. This is where our sponsor comes in. Again, I wanted to give them a shout out because Payability is a service that works for Amazon sellers. And what they do is that instead of having to wait the 14 days, they give you your money the next day. So you can use that money to fulfill your orders, to get items out the door. If you're not a drop shipper, you can use that money to buy more inventory, which is so critical during quarter four to keep things moving. Amazon, unfortunately, makes cash flow a big issue. And if you ever need a loan for your business, they can do that as well for you. And there's no credit check involved for that. So it's based on how well your Amazon account's doing. So it's a really good service. I've met these people when I was in New York City. They're really cool. They're very supportive of sellers and this community in general. So I did want to give them a shout out. If you are interested in checking them out, again, you could scan this QR code or check out the link in the description of the video. But it's a big way to defeat that problem of cash flow. So that's kind of all the kind of formal talk I have for you guys, but we do have the prizes now. All these prizes are donated, so I wanted to kind of explain what they are before we give them out. The first one is Spot and Paste. Spot and Paste is a tool that helps us quickly copy addresses from eBay, from Amazon, from Shopify, anywhere you're drop shipping from, and you can paste them into your supplier's website. It helps speed up the order fulfillment process. I did have a video, but it won't. Oh, it's playing. Okay. So if you're not familiar with how it works, you press one button, it copies, and then you go over to the checkout page, and you can just quickly paste it. So it speeds up the order processing for you. It's really great. So they're giving away 4 months of that. That's the first prize. The second prize is Web Scraper app, which we use for Amazon drop shipping. This helps with our inventory management. If price changes on our supplier's website like Walmart, this will help make sure that the price and stock changes on Amazon so that we don't sell items for the wrong price or items that are out of stock. So somebody is going to win a month of that. The third prize is a month of Auto DS. It's a big plan you get. You get a bunch of those Finder credits, which some of you guys were talking about before. These Finder credits will allow you to find items that are going to sell really well. So that's going to be a prize as well. So those are the 3 prizes. Did everyone who's here get a raffle ticket already? Raise your hand if you did it. Okay, let's make sure. You want to make sure everyone gets one, and then we'll pick prizes.
Did you put the other part of your tickets?
And anyone who's watching at home, sorry you weren't here, you don't get a prize. But all the links to all these things are in the description if you want to check them out. And guys at home, if you want to be notified about the next meetup, that will be linked up down below as a sign up so you don't miss out on it. I know people are selling on different platforms right now, so I think what makes the most sense is I'll pick a winner, and then that person can choose what they want, and then the next person choose, and the next person will get whatever's. Yeah. I mean, they're all great prizes. It's just I don't want to give an eBay thing to someone who's selling on Amazon and vice versa. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. And these were donated, so big shout out to Jenny and Ron and Lior for donating them. Thanks, guys. You good? All right. Okay. So the first winning ticket is 328019.
Oh.
Congratulations. I don't have actually anything to hand you, but we'll write down your name and
I
email.
have a question. The auto DS, is that just for time, limited time for 1 month?
That's for, yeah, the Auto DS is 1 month. That's for eBay drop shipping.
Oh, so I got to pick?
Yeah.
I guess the web scraper.
Okay, you're taking Web Scraper app? Okay. There's 2 prizes left. The next one is 328023. Congrats. I didn't even see you back there. That one's gone.
Yeah.
Auto DS? Okay. So last person is going to get Spot and Paste. Which is good because it works with both of them. So, okay, the last one is 328007.
Me.
Congratulations. Okay.
The one that I was
Okay, and we have one more grand prize. So the grand prize is I'll give someone access to my Amazon course. This is the course all about how to drop ship on Amazon, using retail websites, which we talked about before. So I probably should have said this earlier, but this is like the way I drop ship is I use other retail websites like Walmart. There's so many you can use, like Harbor Freight. Some people use Lowe's. People use, and you drop ship onto Amazon. So once this item sells on Amazon, then you buy it from Walmart, ship it directly to the customer. So I teach that whole process in here. You get all the different lessons, all the modules. I have specific lessons on product research, which is pretty big, and it's all in there. And then you also get access to the private Facebook group. This is only for members of the Amazon course. So it's only for people who are paid or won access. And you can ask questions in there. And it's very helpful, supportive community. And these are some of the results of some of the students. You can see Brian, $10,000. Kadi, almost $100,000. David, $45,000. I think this is, I'm not sure what this one is. Almost $50,000. So you're going to get all of that. Today I'm running a special on it. It's $100 off. It's $497. And the winner for that one is 328009.
Oh my God.
Congratulations. So that's all I have. A couple other things though. If you guys do want to check out that Amazon course, that's linked up down below, where you guys can scan the code. And there's a secret hidden prize somewhere in here. Don't like rip the place apart. You don't. It's kind of out in the open. And then if any of you guys, like, no pressure, but if you want to leave an honest testimonial for me, Chad will have his camera. You can meet him outside, and you don't even have to be a course member. Or if you are, that's great. And you could just say like why you like the YouTube channel. It would help me out, but no pressure. You guys are here because I like hanging out with you guys, so no pressure for there. But that's it. So make sure you guys eat some food and hang out. Let me know if you have any questions. Actually, why don't we do that first? Does anyone have any questions about anything? It doesn't have to be what we talked about.
Well, of course, I want to go and buy your course, so if you can help me with the, the problem that I have. So
Which one?
The client credit card.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that afterward. Yeah.
If you have two accounts, that's not stuff.
Yeah.
If you have two accounts and you have an item that has been selling like gangbusters on one, and you list it in the other account, let's say the same price, basically it's the same, it is the same exact item, but it's the same exact externals as well, but it doesn't sell.
Mm-hmm.
So is that eBay controlling the position?
Yeah, so the question is, you have two eBay accounts,
Yeah.
and you have items that are selling, you have an item that's selling really well in one, you list it into the other and it doesn't sell at all. And you're wondering why that is. So first, you just to kind of as a precaution, like you shouldn't list the same item into two different accounts, because eBay doesn't allow that. They'll remove both listings. The reason it might not be selling well in the other account, in the second account, is because it's already selling well in the first account, and it has a proven history. So when people go to look at that item, they can see it sold 20 times, right? And they will see that for your first account. They won't see that on your second account. So if you're looking at two items and they're exactly the same, maybe they're even the same price or similar price, but one has sold 20 times and one hasn't, I'm going to buy the one that sold 20 times because I feel more comfortable with that. I'm not sure what kind of feedback you have on your second account. Social proof. Yeah, exactly. So that's my guess why it's the first one is doing better. Yeah, that's a good question. Anyone else have any questions? Yeah.
When we look at all your videos, I don't remember you mentioning this, but we have the starter subscription for eBay. When is a good time to upgrade to the next subscription?
So the question is, when you first start out on eBay, you get a free plan, and then you can upgrade at a certain point. You can upgrade again. You can upgrade again. When do you do that? You have to do the math. I never remember the exact. It's based on the number of listings. So on eBay, they don't charge you for your first 50 listings, but after that, they start charging you. But if you upgrade to a higher plan, then you get more free listings, and a higher plan gets more free listings. So you have to do the math to determine at what point it makes economic sense, at what point you actually start to lose money by listing more items. I've done the math before. I don't have it memorized or with me right now, but I can give it to you later, and I have it somewhere. I think it's definitely in the course, and I'm not sure if I've ever made a YouTube video about it, but I can tell you later. It's just, I don't have it off the top of my head. Yeah.
Do you have, or do you recommend in the eBay store where you basically have the different sections of different items, and every time you post an item, you'll be like, check out my other items in the description. Do you have that, or you recommend that?
I'm not sure wait, can you repeat the question? I'm not sure I fully understand the question.
Do you recommend having an eBay store
Yeah.
in terms of, like, we do list the items, let's say electronics, this other stuff, and basically after every item that you post, you have a link to basically check out my other items.
I think I understand. So is your question that, are you talking about listings you've seen where you're looking at the listing and then it also says on the side, hey, do you want to check out this other item instead?
Other items that I have for sale, like check my store.
Yeah. So that's something people do where like you'll go to look at the listing and then on the side it'll say, hey, maybe you're interested in this item instead, and it'll link directly to it. Am I following you that?
Yes, but it also basically wants you to look at your other items in your store.
Yeah. So I don't personally do that, but I don't see. I mean, you can experiment with it. You can try with it. I guess if you follow that train of thought, then if someone looks at that item and they're about to leave because they realize it's not for them, maybe if you put similar items there, then they might go there instead of leaving. I've never actually messed around with it, so I don't even know how it would mechanically work. My fear would be that unless the listing was somehow like dynamic, that if you like said, hey, why don't you check out this item instead, and then you happen to delete that item later and then they click it and it's like a broken link kind of thing. So these are kind of things you would have to work out. I've never done it myself though. Yeah.
What do you recommend becoming tax exempt in other states like California, Mississippi, Tennessee,
Yeah.
where Walmart will charge you sales tax even though eBay is so-called collecting it from you?
Right. So the question is about sales tax, and the question is that so when you first become tax exempt, you are only tax exempt in. So what happens is you become tax exempt, you give that information to Walmart, and then Walmart says, okay, for it's like 34 states, 38. Thank you. 38 states, you now don't have to pay sales tax for those states. But there's a bunch that you do. Some of them don't matter because you're not going to ship there anyway, but some of them do, like California is a big one. So at what point do you then go through the necessary paperwork to then become tax exempt in California so that you don't have to pay tax when you buy an item from Walmart and ship it to California? It's going to be different for everyone. I mean, I did it. I took a while to do it because it's work. You got to do it, and But California was one of the first ones I did because it was one of the bigger ones. And I'm trying to remember the last one that I did. It was a small one. It's one that I don't sell a lot into, so it didn't really make sense to do it. So you kind of look at the numbers, see how much it costs to get started, to get tax exempt there, and see if it really makes sense. But if you're doing consistent sales into California, it's something you should really consider doing because you could save a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. So, I remember last year you were with DSM tool, and so you were probably flagged, right? Like everybody else?
With DSM tool.
Yeah, and then you said recently you with AutoDS on the non-API,
Right.
account. Did you start a new account, or you just waited the 6 months for the account to be unflagged?
I started a new account.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as I know, there's no way, that 6-month thing, I'm not saying I don't believe it's true, I just haven't seen evidence that it.
So you did a brand new account, and you got new limits?
Well, the new account was not a stealth account, it was connected to my old account, so I got the higher limits because it connected with my old account.
So flag people can do that.
It's surprisingly, yeah.
With stealth
Go ahead.
accounts, when do you recommend creating a stealth account?
Okay, so the question is, when do I recommend starting a stealth account? I don't think it's necessary for most people to start a stealth account. You definitely will need one if you get suspended. obviously. So for those of you who don't know what a stealth account is, I'm actually going to just record a bunch of videos about this. So those will be available like in the next couple of weeks, but I'll run down what they are right now. So you create an eBay account, like here it is, and then you start a second one. eBay knows you own both of them. Even if you don't use the same information, they have ways of knowing that your accounts are connected. They look at things like your IP address, the cookies that on your browser, and identifying information like phone number, address, things like that. So they know these accounts are connected, which is fine. It doesn't matter. It's actually beneficial to you because your new account will usually have a higher limit because your old account had a higher limit. The problem happens is if your eBay account gets suspended, they suspend all of your accounts. So you're totally out of the game at that point. How do you fix that? Well, you can become unsuspended, but if that doesn't work, then you can create what's called a stealth account. And a stealth account is completely separate. It's like over here. eBay doesn't know that you own it. It has everything completely separate. It allows you to start selling again. So obviously, if you get suspended, that's when you would start a stealth account. Another reason you might want to start a stealth account, and this is the reason I've used them, is to run experiments. So I've had a few of them that I've kind of butchered, but it doesn't matter because they're not connected. And that's just because I was trying different things, seeing what worked, and there's like really no harm in doing that. The other thing is you can do it to spread out your risk, and maybe that's more of what your question is. So if you're afraid you're going to get suspended, or just trying to be really cautious, knowing that you're making all your money from eBay and you're afraid that what if something happens? Like what if? It'd be great to be able to spread out the risk. So if you're starting to feel that way and your store's already doing well, then that's something, it's everyone's risk tolerance is different. Just realize you're obviously going to be spreading out your attention between multiple accounts, but something to consider. I mean, if you're already considering opening a second account, then yeah, I don't see opening a stealth account is really not that hard. You might as well give that a shot to open a stealth account. So you have the two accounts. The only problem is you usually start out with a low selling limit. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
How is the eBay doesn't know that it's a stealth account, that they're using cookies and IP addresses and all that stuff?
Because you'll get new cookies and new IP address and new name and address. So, yeah.
You go through a VPN, right?
There's a few different ways to do it. Like I said, I made some videos and it goes into much more detail, but that's basically the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah. VA-wise, on average, how much can you expect a starting lower-level VA to list per day or per week? What would be a good number to have them shoot for?
So the first thing I'll say is so the question is how much can a new VA list within an hour, a day, a week kind of thing. So the first thing is I never hire a new VA. I always hire ones with experience because there's so many of them out there. And I'm looking to make sure, now with me, I give them protocol for product research, and I expect them to adhere to those rules and to find the right products. So I'm making sure that they are doing that. And from that, it might take them 15 minutes to find one item to list. But it's worth it. It's better than listing 5 items that are just worthless. So usually I use that as a good rule of thumb, one item every 15 minutes. I have some that are rock stars and do it faster than that, but yeah. And then during quarter 4, it's kind of like all out, just listing a lot because the product research, like we talked about, is a lot different. Yeah, good question. Yeah.
So I've asked this before in the room as well as with individual people. How long do you allow an item to sit in your store with no sale before you delete it to bring in more stuff?
Okay, so the question is how long do you let an item sit that's not selling before you delete it? So there's a couple of schools, kind of trains of thought on this. I'll tell you what I do and then what some other people do. So what I do is if it hasn't sold, if I list it and it hasn't sold for 2 months, I delete it, it's gone. If I list it and then it sells and then it stops selling, again, it's like 2 months and it's out kind of thing. But other people, what they do is if they list an item and it doesn't sell, they'll go in, they'll maybe look at how many people are viewing the item. If they see a lot of people are viewing it but not buying it, then they'll try lowering the price, especially if people are watching it. They also might do things like change the main photo or change the title a little bit, things like that. For me, I just delete it because it's so easy to see what's not selling and just quickly delete it than actually going in and doing that extra work. And the way I see it is that if that item is going to do well in the future, it will come back on our radar and we'll relist it again. And sometimes different circumstances, different time of the year, maybe a better title, it might start selling the next time around. Yeah. Yeah.
How do return rates affect your seller performance? Like, for example, I offer free returns.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of times buyers will return it just because they don't like it.
Right.
Buyer's remorse. But that still impacts my return rate. How does that affect your metrics?
So the question is, how do returns impact your seller metrics? So the most important thing is returns that are done for item not received. Because if that gets too high, you get, so the item not received, for item not as described.
Right.
Returns for item not as described. That's the bad one. Because if you get that, then they increase your final value fee. So that's really the biggest problem with returns. And you can kind of combat that by offering free returns, because then people, you would hope, would be less likely to lie about it, because they're going to get the free return anyway, but people don't always realize that and they put it anyway. So it's one of the problems with eBay, especially, is you get people who lie about the reason for the return and things like that. But that's the one you want to keep low. But returns in general, they happen, so it's fine.
If it's just buyer's remorse, like
Yeah.
they don't like it,
Right.
then that's not taken account.
Right. Yeah.
You do, I know you do international, like, for eBay, based on the eBay Dropshipping International, what is that called?
Global shipping program.
Yeah, global shipping program. But
Yeah.
for items that are large and that the eBay global shipping program doesn't accept that, do you use any other international shipping that is cheap?
So the question is, besides the global shipping program, is there any other type of international shipping that I recommend?
Yeah.
So global shipping program is the only one I've ever used. It's really easy, especially for drop shippers, to use the GSP, global shipping program. eBay is starting to, I think, move away from it. I don't think they plan to continue it, is my guess. And that's based on the fact that right now, if you sign up for eBay's managed payment system, which eBay is using to replace PayPal, you can't use a global shipping program. And eBay just announced an alternative to the global shipping program that seems like it would do away with the global shipping program and put more responsibility on us and less responsibility on them. So my guess is that it's going away. And we can't use that new program as drop shippers, so it's kind of going to be out of the way entirely. But the other alternative then, if you don't want to use that, is there are some, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. I've never used it myself, but I know a lot of dropshippers have used it. And it's basically like a freight forwarding company. You ship the item to them and they ship it overseas. And a lot of times it ends up being cheaper for the buyer. So a lot of buyers would prefer that. It's more logistics for you because you have to arrange things with that freight forwarding company. I just can't remember the name of it right now. Hip shipper, thank you. Yeah. Like HIP, like your hip shipper. Thank you. Any other questions? No?
One more.
Yeah.
The battle between API versus non-API.
Okay. So you just want to know which one I prefer and
Which
why?
you prefer, why, etc.
Okay.
Especially with other DS.
Okay, so the question is, what do I prefer, API or non-API, and why? So let me kind of explain this for people who don't know. So when people first started dropshipping, the way that I do it and the way that I teach it was very manual. So you would physically go, like those items we saw in Home Depot, like those inflatables, you would copy the title and you would download all the photos, you would copy the description, and you would paste that onto eBay. It actually was fast compared to taking photos yourself and writing a description yourself, but it took time. Then people developed the software, and the software would do that for you automatically. It would just, in a second, you would have a new listing up on eBay. And that software would also reprice the items. So if that inflatable in Home Depot went up in price, the price on eBay would go up as well. So very fast, and it used something called eBay's API. The API is like a way for programmers to build software that works with eBay. It's allowed by eBay. So it works really well. Everything's like in the background. But then eBay kind of said that we don't like software that will reprice items on our website based on prices on other websites. That's what they said. So you can't use the API for that anymore. That's what the API rules say. So the software found another way to do it, which is not violating the API rules. And that we call that non-API or manual dropshipping. So we have found that eBay prefers that, and they don't penalize us for using that software in that way. So that's the software that I use and recommend. And AutoDS, which I showed you guys before, they have an API version and a non-API version. And the API version is better because it's automated and it runs in the background for you automatically. But the non-API is better because eBay doesn't penalize you for using it because it's non-API. So I know it's a little confusing for some people who might have just heard about this, but that's kind of the quick history lesson on it. Yeah.
Real quick on that, we did contact AutoDS and they said that they have some kind of agreement with eBay that we can use their API. Do you agree with that, or to be on the safe side, should we not use it?
Okay, so the question is that some software companies say that what I just said is not true. And I don't know. I understand what they're saying because technically they contacted eBay and said, we are using this software for this reason, and eBay actually has to give them permission to use the API, which is what happened. It happened to all of these software. But we still find that when we use the API version, we get penalized as a seller. We get lowered in the search results. But when we use the non-API, we're fine. So, yes?
We have a question from Stephen D from the live chat. How do you deal with supplier cancellations?
So the question is, how do I deal with supplier cancellations? So when a supplier cancels an order, I guess that's the question. Usually what we do is we try to find it from somewhere else and from another supplier and ship it to the customer. Or sometimes you can even just reorder it right away, which just sounds weird, but it does work sometimes. And then if that doesn't work, sometimes you ask the customer, do you want a different item that's similar? We'll give it to you. It's like the same price. A lot of them are willing to do that. Yeah. So is that it?
One more.
Yep, sure.
If anybody's going south, if you could drop me off in Fort Lauderdale, you'd save me $50 for it over.
So we had a question about carpooling.
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, we can. Okay, great.
Cool. All right, guys. So yeah.
And I don't know if we talked about it before, but when you have the three prices up there, the very first one, do you give your virtual your spot and paste? Do they have access to that? Right?
Yeah, my virtual assistants do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question was, do I give my virtual assistants access to spot and paste? And yeah, because they're the ones fulfilling the orders. So yeah.
How do you give them access to spot and paste?
So when you sign up so the question is, how do you give them access to spot and paste? When you sign up, you have to tell spot and paste how many people are going to be using it, and they give you login information and a key. And so then they have to download the Chrome extension, and then you have to give them the information to log in and the key as well. I think it's on my VA course.
That's it.
Is it?
There's instructions for the VA. If it's not, I got to add it.
Because I already have spot and paste, but I want to give my VA.
Yeah, so I think inside my VA course, there's a video you can send them that teaches them how to download it. and then you just got to give them the information to plug in.
But do I have to contact Spot and Paste and add?
No.
I'll look for that instead.
Yeah. Sure.
Sales tax. What are the ramifications for a Home Depot gave me tax exempt for all the states?
Yeah.
So I haven't had issues that you have on the course where there's about other states there that you're supposed to be paying taxes.
Yeah.
So I haven't had that problem. So what are the ramifications to somebody who's not really paying sales tax in those states?
I don't know. I mean, that's a really good question, and I've wondered that for a while myself. And I don't know. Somebody screwed up there. That's all I can say. And I don't know. I mean, I'm good now because I'm covered in every state anyway.
Right.
But I mean, somebody at Home Depot screwed that up. I don't know what happened there.
Let's ride it out.
What?
Ride it out.
Yeah, I guess so. It's been like that way for a while. So, any other questions? Yeah.
It's the free shipping for cheap items from Home Depot.
Yeah.
Completely dead or half dead or?
So the question is free shipping for cheap items dead on Home Depot? I think it's over. So for those of you who don't know, like back in the good old days, you used to be able to order like 50 items from Home Depot into one order, and then you used to be able to ship them all to different addresses and get free shipping for all of them, even if the items were $2 each, as long as the total order was over 45. Then they're like, well, so then what happened was, I don't know if these were drop shippers or what. Some people like really abused it, and they abused it by they would sell like a $2 item, and they like this is the only thing they sold. So then they would buy this and a $50 item, and then cancel the $50 item. So they get So those people screwed us all up, and so then Home Depot like lowered it to like 9. It was like fluctuating like between like 9 and 12 items per order, and then it went down to 2, and now it's like 1. Sometimes you can get 2 to work, but 1. And it seems like it's harder with gift cards. When you're paying with gift cards, it seems like that plus the multiple shipping, they're not a huge fan of that. But the option is still available on the website. So my guess is that they want it to be available for people who aren't us. So I think they're looking at things like our IP address maybe and our cookies, and to see if we keep making orders, they're not going to allow the orders to go through. I mean, we can't do more than 2 ever, and it's rarely we can do more than 1 address per order. So I think they're getting rid of it entirely. Yeah. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I use gift cards and it never works.
Yeah.
Do you still use Lowe's as a supplier? And if so, what's the deal? Because I know they're changing.
Yeah, so Lowe's.
Their gift cards and their coupons. And
yeah, Lowe's changed a lot this past year. I think they got
shipping.
new management over at Lowe's, like a new CEO maybe. I don't know, but Lowe's changed a lot this year. So like Home Depot, you used to be able to ship to many addresses per order. Well, first of all, you used to get free shipping on every order. So you could buy one item that's $2 and ship it for free. And that was pretty crazy itself. But then they also will allow you to put like a bunch of items into one order. And they had these crazy coupons too. They gave you like $20 off a $100 order. So you could buy like 50 items that were $2 each, put them into one order. That's $100, and you just made $20 just on the coupon. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But they got rid of the coupons, and they got rid of the free shipping on orders that are under $45. So now everything's kind of changed. But everyone's on an even playing field. So we all have to deal with the same thing. So it's just an adjustment. And we've played around with some things, and we think we've figured out a system that kind of works. I could talk to you about it later, because I don't want to say it out there because I'm not sure if it's really working entirely, but yeah. Yeah.
In terms of your product research, is it still the same as the one in the dropshipping course from?
Yeah.
Because like I saw the video is November 19th, but is it still the same method, or have you? Is it a little different now?
Yep, the method that I use for product research hasn't changed, except what I showed today. Yeah. Yep.
Another question from the live chat. John asks, is there any information about your account that you specifically don't share with your VA? He says he's worried that his new VA will take all his items and give them to someone else they work for.
Okay, so the question is, John just hired a VA, and he's afraid that the VA will steal all of his items and give them to someone else. So it depends what your VA is doing. This is always a concern for every business owner, is who they hire and what they trust them with. And when you hire the example, someone told me this, is when you hire someone to work at your brick and mortar store, you don't give them the keys to the cash register the first day, right? So it's the same thing. You hire a virtual assistant, you start them out slowly, you don't give them full trust from day one. But this depends what you're having your virtual assistant do. So like if they're placing orders, you don't need to give them access to all your listings necessarily. If they're doing something like customer service, they would need access to your listings. So, I mean, a lot of it's just built on trust. You got to trust your virtual assistant, and you kind of have to have faith in that. Faith that these people you're hiring, they just want to do a good job. They just want to earn a livable wage. You also consider that they've been looking for a job, and you hired them. And a lot of people didn't hire them. And so they want to do a good job. They want you to stick around with them so they can continue to make money. So I've never had that sort of problem with a virtual assistant. I've had problems with them in the past, but it's more based on performance issues more than anything else. I don't think I've ever had a serious problem with any, really, besides just some not doing as good of a job as I would have liked. But never had any do something like slimy like that. Yeah. Anything else? All right, so yeah, thanks everyone for coming. We got this place for a while still, so if you guys want to hang out, talk, ask me any questions afterward, eat some food, and yeah, thanks so much guys for coming. I really appreciate it.
Oh, can we get a group picture before?
Yeah, let's do that.
Maybe up here? Sure.
If someone's not comfortable, you don't have to come up here.
Yeah, otherwise, feel free to jump on the stage and we'll take the
Yeah. This actually.
Feel free to hop up or step on the stairs.